Welcome everybody to the Voice Chat Podcast, episode 14. My name is Maz from TheAMaazing.
I'm Laddi.
I'm Rushlight Invader.
I'm Rebecca Parham from Let Me Explain Studios.
And I'm James.
Nice.
Just that's it. That's it.
That's all I need.
Just some random
random
guy
James.
named James.
Yeah.
He's
Like Madonna, just one word.
It's just James from down the street. He's been a really good friend.
I'm in the back of a van right now. They have a gun to my head. I can't.
I'm tied up and taped up. So welcome, James from the.
Kind of into it.
Before we start, I just want to thank all of our patrons.
Wow.
Massive shout out to all of y'all.
Thank you.
Sexy.
And we'll also show off our fan art early this time instead of at the end, so you guys get better recognition than we give you. Okay, awesome.
Love you.
So welcome to the first episode of the podcast that's recorded in January of 2019. This is the 2019 podcast.
Yay.
Starting 2019 on the right foot.
Well, the thing is, I'd like to think so. At least.
Oh yeah, right.
Just generally, as long as meme-wise, it's okay. Not the greatest start. Big Chungus was a big thing, but
That's how Mafia works.
okay. I like that. I don't want to get into the memes.
I like it. I love
this early, but that's how Mafia works. Was literally something that's created by PewDiePie. He has so much power now that he can push a meme.
Create it.
He literally made one video saying that's how Mafia works, and it's been spreading like wildfire. Left and right.
It's based off of an app, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw a Fine Bros video, and they gave the context, right?
Yeah,
Am I
but
wrong?
like Mafia City, I think. But it's even then, it's just like, he talks about it, it becomes a meme. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm surprised, because he's obviously the number one creator on YouTube still. T-Series still hasn't won. But
As of recording,
who knows? Tomorrow they might lose immediately. But I think it leads on to my next thing, which I don't want to say this because I might get meme destroyed. But why are we so desperate for memes? 2019. It's just started, and we're like almost ravenous for new memes.
I think it's because 2018 was such a good year for memes. It's like we want 2019 to be just as memey.
Right?
Just a meme.
I guess.
But memes are an organic thing, though.
Exactly.
Like, otherwise, they're forced and awkward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, even the end of 2018 got a little bit awkward. Like, Sergio in the crib, that's so good. It's like, and then people ran with it, and it's like, but that's not good. It's like,
Maz, are you saying that you don't like this new generation of memes? Is that what you're saying?
I'm a meme elitist.
Back in my
okay,
day.
I only want the best memes.
Unsubscribe from Moz. Hates memes.
Are you saying that our
memes.
best memes are behind us, Maz?
The best memes are behind.
The golden age of memes.
I don't know. Like, I think okay, for me, what gave it away was when we tried to resurrect Ugandan Knuckles this January, and it's like, dude,
I love
let him die, man.
No, I love him. He's so cute.
My favorite.
I don't know. It's like it's like I've never seen a phenomenon in which we track memes the way we do now. Like, literally, it's like, oh, it's January. You know what was a January meme? Uganda Knuckles. Let's bring him back. And it's like, remember when we didn't track which month the meme was released in? Like, that's
true.
New thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't have
meme
time to do
culture.
that.
Well, exactly, right? And it's like, yeah, meme culture, I guess, but like, how? Yeah, exactly. If you have enough time that you're tracking a meme by month, that's that's a bit.
I don't know. Like,
That's a bit too much.
memes are a lot more serious this day and age.
How so?
It's all
Wait,
we
what are you
have
talking
left.
about? Ugandan Knuckles?
Well, like, if I post a meme that's a couple of weeks old,
Yeah.
people will be like, dead meme. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
it's not funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like people
That's
are
like a slight against your character if you post a dead meme,
yeah,
even if you
exactly.
genuinely think it's funny.
Okay, I don't want to get into like meme magic, but okay, so you can bring back a sufficiently dead meme because it's like almost
sure.
it's now undergone like an ironic period. So recently I was in a conversation and somebody said something stupid and I was like, you gonna do that in front of my salad? And it's like that meme has been dead sufficiently enough that can work, right? Like, And, like, obviously some memes are exempt from this rule. Like, I'm never gonna bring up Rage comics. That's never
You just did.
whoa, and then the troll face.
The crazy thing is, guys, and this is something I think about a lot, is that there's people out there with lives that go outside and don't think about these types of things. You know what I mean?
No.
Isn't that weird to think
That's
about?
crazy.
That this doesn't it's not that delegated to people's lives.
Oh,
without
yeah,
a-
James.
Hard to
Santa Claus
believe.
is real.
You know,
Oh, come
like,
on.
you know, in
Santa
school,
Claus
they
Tooth Fairy's
used to be the-
real, right, James?
Santa Claus is- When I went to school, there used to be these kids that that were so into their own like niche topic that I used to be like, oh, you know, I'm a little, I don't want to hang out with them because they see I'm that guy now. I'm that guy with memes now. Okay. Like, I've definitely gone to my college friends and being like, guys, have you checked out the newest meme? And they're like, dude, we don't even meme. And I'm like, and I explained the joke. I explained like the butterfly meme, and it's like not funny.
Oh, is it the E Markiplier? Is the E one? The Markiplier one? Yeah, well, of course they're not going to think that's funny. That was never funny.
But it's like, I watched your video about the riddles thing again, and the part in which you're calling your sister and explaining loss is the most like moment, because loss isn't funny. Loss is not a funny.
Yeah. No,
He
it's
just
not.
keeps drawing all his videos.
It's just
Yeah.
like
Well,
it's just
It's just like so many layers. It's so like you have to be so invested in internet and internet culture to even understand that, like, oh, putting those lines there is a funny joke,
Yeah.
you know?
right.
One thing that, this is a little bit of a side topic, but I
for
hate when the gamer people, the memers, call the other people normies. I hate the word normie is what I'm trying to say. Because it's like we're making fun of people that aren't ruining their lives on the internet, you know? It's like, oh, get this normie crap out of you. It's like, let people enjoy things. Just like, so yeah, I don't like the word normie, and it's a way to describe people who get their memes off of Facebook or iFunny or something, you know? So I don't know.
Right.
I guess so.
No, I completely believe in that. Live and let live, man.
Yeah.
It's like we don't like it when normal people make fun of us for being total nerds.
Yeah.
So
I guess so. I
Yeah.
think people are still stuck into that mindset where, like, previously the internet was for the kind of more recluse, isolated people. And when the,
way more
quote
open.
unquote normies walked in, it ruined their culture. You know, they ruined their culture. Like the rage comics and memes before used to be this niche language that they used to communicate in, but now it has become a more mainstream comedic thing, right? Where a lot
Exactly.
of people, like, okay, I say mainstream, more mainstream, than before,
Yes.
but it's definitely more accepted now into the, and I, like, once again, I hate using that word as well, but I can see why it's being used. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I would say when people are, I guess, elitist to it, you know what I mean? When it's like, oh, this normie trash out of here. It's like, calm down. Like, I guess to, like, as a descriptive word, like, yeah, there are people who are normies, you know? But, like, when you use it negatively, it's just like, hey, calm down. It's like you're spending too much time on your computer, bud.
Is that the rule? It's like, if you get to the point where you're calling other people normie, you've spent too much time. It's like, you should take a break. You should.
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, like grandma posting a minion meme on Facebook is not hurting you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's killing me though.
It's killing the inside. Well, that was fun.
Is that okay? That's
Wraps
it.
up the
That was
podcast.
fun. James
Yes,
decreed
that's
it.
it.
You know.
All right, check that off the list of topics. Next topic.
There's not a list
Next
of,
order of business, gavel down.
there's not a list of topics, please. I'm sorry.
No, there's not.
But like, I'm glad like meme culture it's so ingrained, because I think, honestly, and forgive me for even bringing this up, but TikTok.
Stupid mods, you dumb TikTok.
I'm dying. Okay, but TikTok is the entire crux of why TikTok is working is because it's so meme. It is meme culture.
Oh, mean. Yeah.
Right?
You say mean or meme?
Meme. M-E-M-E. Yeah, it's like, it's
Okay.
so ironic.
Well, it is mean too, though.
It is mean
sometimes.
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 Yeah, definitely. But it's so
Bless you,
ingrained
Maz.
into our meme culture that I think TikTok works, And I'm not saying it because I make TikToks, okay? I am not biased, all right? I'm a little bit biased. But today something magical happened, okay? And I want to kind of I just want to talk about it, okay? So
Okay.
I woke up, and my routine is take a shower, brush my teeth, eat breakfast, whatever.
Get my bowl, get my cereal.
And then exactly,
seeing
get my,
everything,
and my time is ticking on and on, whatever.
Speaking of dead memes.
And so I'm scrolling to my Twitter and I just see somebody saying, "Hey Maz, check out this link." And I checked it out. And guys, I am in a TikTok compilation. I have made it, guys.
You made it!
Wow.
That's like,
Thank you, Maz. Good job.
I couldn't believe, I watched it and I was like, no, it can't be. And it like 9 minutes and 20 seconds in, there I am. And
Right at the end.
Which one is it?
Yeah, I was going to say, can you describe the TikTok for people who haven't seen it at home?
Describe the TikTok. Oh, it's
Yeah.
It's the one. Oh my god, it's just not gonna make sense. I'll link you. Like I'll literally link the thing, but it's where like my dad walks in after 18 years, and I'm just like, "Dad," and he's like, holding a milk carton, and he's like, pretending like he was going out for a smoke, and it's just me crying. But I don't want to fake cry. So what I did was I just poured a cup of water over my head in my room to pretend like it's tears, and I have the outtakes for it, and it's
So
just
your hair's all wet and everything?
Oh
Yeah.
Because you cried?
Your hair was crying.
Oh,
That's how sad he was.
absolutely. My glasses is wet. My face. It's literally just pouring water, right? and it's like I don't even. Okay, I might show the Patreons. That might be an exclusive thing where I'll show the behind the scenes to them because it's so
The behind the scenes of the TikTok.
No, it's like literally so bad. It's like I'm just pouring water, and then at the end I'm just like I literally yell, "What the hell am I doing?" I just. Because it's just like,
I was imagining you going like, hey, like you're looking at the camera like, hey guys, we're about to film this brand new TikTok. I have all the props here. I'm just going to do some vocal warm-ups. And then you start doing, and then you're like, okay. And then like there's a cameraman, there's like a bunch of people, a boom mic and everything. And then you're like, and action. And then you just pour water on your face.
just action.
That's what I'm thinking the behind the scenes.
Well, some people
Just like
definitely
3 different Mazes in a room, like making a
clowns.
TikTok.
like a full production thing. Oh, it's
Yeah.
like some people do go that hardcore with it. You know what I mean? Like full. Like some people did that with Vine as well. Like people who had like full on gear and whatever set up for TikTok.
Well, I mean, like people were able to make a living off of it, so why not?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Improve the quality.
Do people make money off Musically and TikTok?
That's what I was just thinking about that. Like, are people actually like making careers off of being TikTok stars now?
Well,
I have no
Jacob
idea.
Sartorius used to be like a Musically star,
Yeah.
But he like went on to do bigger things in that.
Right,
you know?
but he was
So,
initially popular on Musically, right?
Yeah.
like-
Maybe he
And
got
so was
sponsored or
Justin
something.
Bieber was on YouTube.
Right, so he used that as a platform, and I I guess a few people could do that, but it's so like what that might be a drawback to the meme culture thing, because it's so ingrained in meme culture that I don't think the mainstream audience or advertising companies would want to pay money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody want to pay money for hit or miss. I guess they
Although-
never miss, huh?
Are the Vine compilations and TikTok compilations, are they monetized on YouTube?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well then yeah, they do want to monetize that. If people are watching, then they're gonna show an advertisement.
Well, once again, I don't think advertising companies are saying, "I just want my ads on a TikTok compilation." You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
They're just saying, "Yeah, I want my ads on YouTube," and so YouTube's
Yeah,
delegating.
but it is I would say advertiser friendly.
Yeah,
you know what
okay,
I mean? It
fair.
is. I guess it is compilations though.
Yeah, I guess so. I was thinking about that. Like, if I get to a point where I have enough TikToks to make my own TikTok compilation of my own TikToks, that would be that would be the next level thing.
Do
Is that
you
your next dream? Is
secretly
that your
want to
dream?
be a TikTok star, Maz? Is that your dream? Do you want to be a
End
TikTok
goal.
star?
Look, if I'm gonna be completely honest, right, about why I'm doing TikToks, right, and it's like obviously I've memed it up on Twitter and I like say like, "Lol, I can't believe I'm on TikTok," whatever. The real reason is
Meme,
because
okay.
I think I am feeling a little bit of burnout, and I'd
With
be
YouTube?
lying if I said I wasn't. You too, yeah, I think, and so TikTok has no expectations of quality, and it sounds a little bit rough, but I don't think anybody goes on TikTok to see premium content. You know what I mean? Like, you see people like me who just pour water on their head, and that's content, right? And so it's almost liberating in a way to have almost no sense of expectation. And for me, whenever I do get an idea that I can pull off a TikTok, for me to execute it and upload it on the same day, and it's actually intensely, enjoyable because I can do that. And I think it is providing a little bit of variety that I need to keep the burnout at bay for animated content. You know what I mean?
So, new topic, burnout. Do you guys have to deal with
okay,
that?
James, I so expertly segued into that, and so you just go, so next topic.
I see what you're doing here, Maz.
Wait a minute.
But
You
no,
fell right into my trap card.
but segue, I get what you mean, Maz. Like, it is a little disheartening getting an idea and then not being able to show the world or the internet until like a month later. And also just like, I do want to make the jokes, and that's more of what I do on my second channel. And it's kind of like I'm just sitting there behind my computer, like drawing a background, and I'm just like, does anyone even care if this floor is tiled? Why am I drawing all the lines to make it tiled? Does anyone care if it's tiled? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
This
it's just something that I think about.
No, definitely. It's like,
Well, and I completely see where you're coming from on that when it comes to like I want to get the jokes out now because there's like this very famous thing that an old Pixar guy Joe Rampt said, and that is animation is telling a joke and waiting 3 years to see if anybody laughs. so and it just kind of gets squashed down to a month or 2 months. But yeah, it's difficult, especially when you get so ingrained into one story and you don't know if any of this is even funny anymore because you've heard it a billion times.
But on the other side, the flip side, it doesn't seem like it now, but those videos you make and those TikToks you make are going to be there forever. Those things last forever, as long as the internet's around.
Right.
So it's like, you might not see the point of like making drawing all the tile lines now, but it's like years from now, people are going to watch these videos, and I don't know, they're going to be like, these are all really high quality, and a lot of time and effort was put into them. So that's sort of what I keep telling myself.
Yeah,
on the flip side,
it's the same
old
argument.
longevity.
Yeah, the argument of long-term gain versus short-term gain. Because like, I always say this to newcomers. They're like, how do you keep going? And I was like, look, don't think of it like that, because there's definitely a moment every animation where I'm just like, I don't like what I'm doing right now, right? Like, spending days and days and days on end on the same thing, it does kind of weigh you down a little bit. But obviously thinking about the long-term gain, and every time I get to that point, I just rewatch what I've done, and I'm like, all right, I'm happy now. And I just keep going, right?
And I think like for me, the payoff of the audience loving the video and seeing all the comments and just seeing like a generally positive reaction to what I did, I think that's like the ultimate payoff for me is just making people happy.
But when you're a newcomer, it can be very demotivating for like working months or like, I don't know, I was going to say weeks or months, but I started out with months. It can be very demotivating for newcomers who work weeks or months on videos. And they don't get any recognition. You know what I mean? They aren't getting rewarded. But it's if I were to give any sort of advice on that, I would have to quote like the co-director of Prince of Egypt, Steve Hickner. He was a very common person to be walking around at our school, and he would give lots of talks and everything. And I once asked him, how exactly, when you were in the middle of doing these giant projects that no one is going to see for like a year, how exactly do you stay motivated on something? And he says, what is great is that you can actually say, I'm going to get excited about the fact that I'm going to get better at something by the end of this. I'm going to be so much better at drawing this type of character because I'm just doing it so consistently. Like there was a guy who was working on Oliver and Company, that old 80s movie about the cat in New York City and the dogs and all that. Anybody seen that
movie.
one? Yeah, well, I think it was like one of the animators or the director on it. In the middle of it, he's like, I'm just so excited about this project because I'm going to get so much better at quadrupeds by the end of this, four-legged animal characters. So I think one of the ways you can really like kind of bolster your own motivation is to just say, oh, I'm going to be so much better after this, I think that's one way. you know.
So if
So-
you hate drawing hands, keep drawing hands.
Exactly.
Yeah. For
Darn it, I
me, oh sorry.
Go for it.
What? No, go ahead, Laddi.
Okay, I don't know what you said. But like, yeah, lately what's been motivation for me is like the past year I didn't do anything really, and I think it was because I felt like this pressure that like, oh, I have to upload all the time or else nobody's gonna like what like I'm gonna be non-relevant. And then I think I'm taking a new approach towards uploading to where like I just want to upload so I can be proud of something that I created. So like yeah, like what you said, James, when you're like focusing on like tiling floors, it's like no one's probably gonna be like, oh wow, he tiled those floors really good, but like you're gonna know that you took the time to tile those floors and you're gonna be proud
Exactly.
that you spent like an extra 10 minutes tiling the floor. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's the
That's a
big
very
thing.
positive, very positive outlook on that.
It's like
I saying?
everything you guys are saying is just like it's warming my heart a little bit because it's definitely like I think every one of us can look at our first work on YouTube and now it's drastically different, right? Like it's definitely in my opinion I've improved and I think all of us have improved.
I can't even look at my senior thesis I made at Ringling anymore. I especially can't listen to it because I was supposed to be singing real opera for that, and I cannot listen to my voice anymore because it is not real opera.
Rebecca,
My
was
French was
the
terrible.
was the beef we was that your senior thesis? Because I
No,
sure hope it was. Oh, okay, because I was going to ask you if it was. What grade did you get on it? The beef we.
A plus, obviously. But no, my senior thesis was a 3D animated thing about an opera singer who, right before she goes out on stage, she runs out of her throat spray and she can't sing without it, and she like mixes like little bits of all the other people's throat sprays together, and she accidentally starts singing her song in different genres of music while she's on stage.
Oh, I remember. I've seen that.
Yeah. And I can't look at it anymore because I just think I only see the flaws in it. But I do think to myself, well, look how like much stronger I've become just being on YouTube and making videos on YouTube, you know? I mean, I don't know how that would translate to 3D, but I think I'm so much better a storyteller and so much more confident a storyteller too.
Yeah.
Like I was a nervous wreck when I was doing my senior thesis and I second guessed every little thing that I was doing on that thesis. And now it's like, I want to do a beatbox with the Mario theme. I'm gonna do it.
Love it.
Yeah.
No one's stopping me.
Yeah. So
Definitely the
like
confidence angle, yeah.
being an animator, I keep telling people this, and it sounds cliche, but it's true. But you just gotta like practice and work hard, and that's the way you're going to get better is through starting out bad, you know. So another thing that a lot of people who are starting out, they compare themselves to other animators and like even other artists. And I by no means am like in the top tier like drawers or anything, but it's just one of those things where you have to like work at your own pace, learn at your own pace, and just always be drawing and practicing and experimenting, and you'll be good at it eventually.
And it's like one thing that I would
It's like you
also
should only
wanna-
be competing with yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. Only yourself. And it's like I also like want to say that it's okay to doubt and think about what you're doing. That's fine. I think that's that's a step of improvement is to see where you can get better, right? And
Yeah,
like
that's where the practice and experimentation.
and linking back to the tiles thing, definitely that question always runs through my head. It's just like I'm literally lip syncing this and I'm adding so much detail, and it's like I could sacrifice them to upload faster, right? But I want to make sure that I'm better, so I don't. You know what I mean? It's like you've got to make your goals set out. Like you got to write down your goals and see what you want. If you want to keep uploading more, then work towards working on that goal. If you want to make sure that you keep improving, work towards that goal. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own.
Well,
thing.
and if you ask me, just the very act of being able to strip away any sort of unnecessary or extraneous bits from a video or a story or an anything animated and just get to the root of the story and the root of the entertainment value, I think that's like a skill in and of itself to be practiced, you know? It's like condensing. It's like, I didn't have time to write you a short letter, so I wrote you a long letter, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the act of condensing and getting things to a neat, compact shape can actually be a really difficult thing for a lot of starting artists. So I would say practice that. Like, practice being comfortable with stripping away certain things and being okay with, you know, not lip syncing. Because you're going to realize really quickly what is necessary for getting your point across in a video and what is not. So practice that too, I would say, to any beginning artist.
Yeah. That's solid advice from Mrs. Rebecca Parham.
Trace everything. That's my advice.
Thanks, Rush. Rush with his
Followed by
advice.
even more great advice from Rushlight Invader.
But that's how I learned, actually.
I was gonna say, like, actually, to practice, that is a good way to like learn shapes and
Initially.
form and stuff. Yeah, initially.
a good
like,
trick.
I mean, like, if it were me, like, what I don't know if I would say trace all the time. Tracing is okay, but like, I would definitely say try to copy something that you admire, because when you try to copy it and not necessarily trace it, you begin to realize where the creative decisions were made. Like, I would try to replicate like keyframes from old Disney movies. Like, I sat down one day and just started doing any sort of keyframe I found in the character of Rabbit in the old like from the 50s and 60s Winnie the Pooh stuff. And I'm like, wow, like, this is the reason that they put the elbow over here and why this tuft of fur is this way. So I think there is like a lot to be learned in trying to replicate something someone else has done. You know what I mean? You begin to realize why they did certain things.
exactly. Just to practice, though.
Yeah, like for James' music video, like the chorus, where the part where he rolls down the hill, that was basically the, you see the movie, not the movie, the music video, Wolf, by the
Wolf, yeah.
Slime.
Wolf. Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
out of my head, my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
The
we're gonna
girl-
get copyright
The
flag.
girl
Hey.
rolls away from the camera, where I make James roll towards the camera. It's basically the same action, just different perspective, like different, like 45-degree difference. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's like, because I really like that role, and I was like, I want to imitate that, but in my own way.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be that's inspired. You know, it's not even you like didn't trace anything. It was totally just inspired of like, oh, that role was cool. I'm gonna do, because like no one has copyrighted roles. You know what I mean? Like no one has that. But,
Right,
yet,
and,
hopefully.
and what are we but a society built upon knowledge and discoveries that came before us?
Yeah.
You know?
I'll dab to that, bro.
Stash.
What are you,
It's not like a
5?
doctor. It's not like a doctor is supposed to like, oh, you're not allowed to administer the cure for polio because you didn't discover it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Standing on the shoulders of giants, you know. And Rush is like, you know, Rush are pretty good about doing that as well. You very often link your references and you're like, oh yep, I got this from this and this and this and this and this, and you like mash it into your own style, and then you're just like, you know, spit it out, you know,
You gotta spin that camera around the figures first.
very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's so fun.
Rush.
It's so fun. It's like fun to do crazy perspective with spinning cameras, because like you have to challenge your brains. Like, where were they gonna be now?
Well,
Right.
especially like my character in a 3D space. I don't know how that works, because I
you're
think
telling
my
me you've never sat down and done like a model sheet turnaround for your character,
yeah,
James?
Yeah, no, I did do a model sheet turnaround, but then it's like, you know, if this was actually a 3D model, it would not look like how it looks in 3D. Because it's like, what is
Because-
my character? Does it have a basketball head? And then what's its body? I don't know.
Because it's also like some of the rules that you've implemented for your characters break a little bit
Yeah.
of animation. Like
Yeah.
you always want to have your head on top. You have no neck. And so if you were to tilt the camera to show the bottom of James, how would that work? You know, like from the feet up, that would just not work.
Although I do have a perspective shot in my next one where like the camera's looking up. So whatever.
So I guess it's just like that aspect, because and that's okay. You know, it's to maintain your silhouette, James. You know, I'm not sure if that was a conscious decision or not, but the Mickey Mouse does the same thing. His ears don't change.
Yeah, no matter
Yeah.
what angle his head tilts, his ears are always perfectly round.
Yeah,
And on the side, too.
and it's like
And they maintain that in a lot of times where they've had to represent him 3D, like which
Kingdom
is
Hearts?
amazing to me, because like well, I don't know,
No,
Is it in
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts?
No.
Well, like in what was the Epic Mickey? They made sure to make it so anywhere the character model was, his ears were always perfectly round, and it kind of like floated around the top of his head like it normally does in his actual animation, and that was like amazing to see that they had done that. And like a very niche people would have even noticed, you know.
But I think that's what solidifies the silhouette, you know, and you can recognize the character just by the 2 round ears, you know what I mean? Like that's just so solid.
That's so true, right? Because like the logo is just 3 circles, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's like, bang, that's Disney, you know? That's the entirety of Disney done in 3 circles. I wish, like, if there was advice that I could go back in time and tell my younger self, like, you know, like, well, when I say younger self, I mean, like, when I start off YouTube, right? It would just be to make a better character. Because, like, obviously, like, I'm happy with
change that, dude.
No, I'm happy with, like, well, I guess I can, but it's, you know, 2 years down the line, I'm probably not going to change that. But it's like...
Well, I mean... I would say if you were going to change it now before it became like really hard to change it, like before you start getting popular T-shirts and being on posters for VidCon and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, like well, the thing is, I'm happy with my character. I don't want to make it sound like I'm like disgusted with this white skinned boy. You know what I mean? Like
white skin. It's gross.
But what if you go bald?
Well, the thing is, I was more indicative of like. Nowadays, I'm like, how funny would it be if my character was like a clock wearing spandex? You know what I mean? Like weird ideas. Like it's just like weird creatures and ideas telling stories is funny to me. I don't know. It's like
what about if your character was an anthropomorphic fox? Huh?
James, you
just
have
throwing
to tell
ideas
me?
Out. Just throwing ideas. What are you talking about?
I'm just laying it out there. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, like. I guess also when you make your character a human or even human shaped, it kind of does humanize you. It makes the audience be like, yeah, this is a person. There's a person behind the voice. If you were a clock in spandex, it'd be like, this is a character like Mickey Mouse. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Can relate.
Well, once again,
So,
I don't know. Like, well, there's obviously pros and cons, but I think it would just be more fun. You know what I mean? Like, just like a little creature, and that's why I think I like Ginger Pale's character so much. It's just like a little creature, like
yeah, you're right.
like a little shy guy.
Yeah,
what
it's
about
not trying to be a direct
Smushy?
representation of him.
Exactly. And I think that's why I like Laddi's character a lot as well. It's just a little fluff ball, and I just kick it around. You know, like it's great. I just
Well, I guess
Murder.
I don't know.
because like. Oh god, there's arguments that, you know, this community, this entire Storytime animating community is getting to a point where it might be saturated, right? And if it is, the people who are going to stand out, you know, one of the things they can do is make a really interesting, unique character. And I'm not sure if I think I told you, James, about Bad Egg Babe, you know?
Bad who?
Bad Egg Babe, it's like
Oh yeah, you
Illumination's
told me
friend.
about her.
And the reason I like their character a lot is just because it's like this egg character, you know. It's so cute and it's like so unique, and I love it. And it's I don't know. I guess I'm a sucker for cute things. I didn't realize, you know. There you go. But I think that's one way you can stand out as a new creator, is just like have a new kind of design, you know?
And I think that's just in general across the board. That's what, you know, in the industry actually does, is that anytime something become too stale, it's always helpful to really like change up the style of what's like not really being shown on television or in movies or anything like that, to really set yourself apart.
Right.
Because, you know, as you know, we're a very visual creature, we humans, you know, we do everything with our sight. So I think that's good advice in general. And I mean, like, the whole white skin, bald, no mouth kind of stuff, that works for us, but we are established, you know? And it's okay that it works for us, but now is the time to like really go out there and make things that are different and unique. And I think that's a really great advice, Maz.
Just like, and it's, once again, linking back to the ideas thing, I don't know, like, I guess it's just experience of doing this for a while now, but like, I get all these ideas and I'm like, there's no way I can implement on all of these, like, before I die, you know? Like, it's like, it collects up. Like, there was one idea that I had, because I'm watching the US Office currently, you know? And it's Laddi Summit. Okay, so, and so, I was thinking, like, why hasn't anybody tried to shape the storytime telling and change the actual way they deliver the story, right? Like, for example, I would love a story which was, instead of being told in the past tense, it's being told in the present tense, and then it has an almost office style, like, narrative, like the interview style. It's like, so I totally stabbed my brother, you know, like you know what I mean? Like, change the.
I will patent that. Now someone's gonna do it.
Well, right. Right, and I think that's a cool style that I was like, I would watch that just to see how interesting that would be, you know.
It almost comes off more as like a sketch, you know what I mean? Like
that's true.
It's true.
That's true.
With the way that we do videos, we're narrating, you know what I mean? Where our voice acting is just us narrating. But then if you were going to do that, you would have to actually play the part. You would have to be like, yeah, so I stabbed my brother, and then your brother would have to be like, I just got stabbed, you know, and so it would all be
James is 101 acting right there.
Yeah. So it would almost have to be like a sketch with like acting and voice acting, and
I get what you're saying, but I'm not
saying that's bad.
It's a breath of fresh air, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, this person, well, it's my idea, so it's like, this is like changing up how it's generally done. And I think even small iterations of that, like Sultan's sketches, he changed up, instead of having like a narrated person, he tells the story via storybook, right? And instead of going to a person speaking on camera, it's a storybook, and he's like, you know, flipping the pages, telling us in his voice. And it's like a small change, but it's a noticeable change, you know? It's like goes against the grain a little bit. And it's stuff like that I like. I love, you know? It's like, hey, I love it.
Well, and I think like, and for people who are not like making this their job on YouTube, I think they're in like the perfect position to start doing that, because with us who are very dependent upon the paycheck that comes with YouTube, it's very hard for us to like try like completely change things up and try new things, because it breaks a formula that we have gotten down to a T and helps ensure us that we upload on a semi-regular basis enough to where we can keep this being our job.
Right.
So like, for instance, you know, I did the horror short working late, and that took me just about as much time to make as a normal like 6-7 minute long narrated video, because it was something new, and so, like I had to kind of dust off my old traditional storytelling cast, like had to shake the dust off of all of that and kind of like get back into the swing of like cinematography and like what does each shot, you know, communicate to the audience. And it was a lot of time spent on something that really wasn't that much payoff by comparison to what I need my channel to do in order to keep this being my job.
Right.
So for those of you out there who actually, you know, this isn't your job yet, this is still kind of a hobby, you're still trying to get things off the ground, now is the time to experiment. Set yourself apart from those of us who are established. Absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm it brings me so much joy just to watch all these new creators and just like what they're trying and seeing it works. It's so, that's the fun of it. I think it's just I love seeing like, you know, whatever is fresh and new, you know. Maybe I should make some, but like I watching people go about, you know, how they do it. And I've gotten into a habit where whenever I watch a YouTube video or, you know, a TV show, whatever, I write whenever I have a reaction to it, like whether I laugh or, you know, get annoyed or angry or whatever, I write down why and how I can take it away, you know. And even The Office, that's why I just get like I just watch the scene and I love the way they tell the jokes, and I write it down. I'm like, I want to take that, you know. It's, you know, linking all the way back to taking things to make it your own. I don't know. I just like even ice cream sandwich in other person's community. I was talking to him recently and I was like, dude, I watched your video and I like dissected down the comedy aspect, and I was like writing down why it was funny and thing, and he's like, yeah, I just did that in a second. I don't know. Like you know, but and the thing is, it's like each of us have our own ingrained version of comedy, what we find funny. And maybe it's my like nature, you know, to kind of just like look at things and break it down. But I want to see other people's comedy and take them and join to my comedy
and steal it.
And steal it.
My
And-
comedy now.
yeah, it's like Frankenstein version. You know, add on and my tool set so I can and my repertoire of jokes so I can employ them at the right times. You know what I mean?
I get
And
that.
somehow, even after all that, I'm still not funny. No, I'm kidding.
Well, like,
Just crying.
as someone who hasn't taken any stand-up comedy classes or read 0 books, it is something that is like different per person and it varies. But there are like, you know, structures, and I think making those comics the comics that I made before YouTube kind of taught me how to structure comedy in a way. And the big thing with comedy that I've found is that it has to be unexpected. You know, you set up an expectation and then you like make a twist and defy people's expectations. And also like
that's the
That's
classic
the
Wile E.
golden
Coyote
rule.
setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like
then
because Wile E. Coyote is exactly that. Like you set up an expectation of what is going to happen with his contraption that he set up, and you completely subvert it. You know, you completely. I don't know if that's the right word to use.
You can
that's good.
you can like deconstruct any joke, and you'd be like, so you're expecting this, and you get this. Except for puns. Puns are not. They're in their own separate category. But another thing that I learned, and this goes for all the people who are starting out on YouTube, is that you need to make sure that everything is clear to the audience. And that's through your writing and through your art and through your audio and like how you're projecting and telling the story. And if there's just one of those things that people are confused on, they're not going to find it funny, you know?
Right.
If the joke has to do with like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you don't draw a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, people are going to go like, what's that? Huh? Why is he having an allergic reaction? Oh, because peanut butter. And so it's just, you just have to make it clear. I don't know where I'm going with this.
No.
but
I definitely agree.
like
yeah.
Can I just kind of like input my thing there?
Sure.
There
Yeah.
is a for storytellers, there are 2 questions you should always ask when you are making your video or you're writing your story or you're making your movie, and that is the audience bored and is the audience confused? You got to make sure that neither of those are yes. You have to make sure that everything is 100% clear to the audience, and you have to make sure that it's not boring, because you can have one or the other.
And
And as long as those 2 things are taken care of, you're on the right track.
And so I script all my videos. I script like every single word of them. And I think a lot of the clarity and a lot of the humor is made in the scripting process, you know? So like that, I believe that like scripting is really important. And I know some people they say they're not the best at it, but I always find it's like you have to script things out, get a structure, like a beginning, middle, end, and a conclusion. That's the end. Never mind. And and I don't know. So it's if there's like some people, some of the videos that I see, it's not anyone in this call, but some people I watch their videos and I just go, what's going on? Where like the character will say something and then they'll start talking to themselves, and it's not really clear that they're talking to themselves, and it's just like, huh? Who are you talking? And so it's again one of those just like clarity things. Yeah. And as the creator, it's easy for you to forget what is clear and what's not clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you really have to like take a step back and think like, okay, as someone who's never seen this before, what are their first impressions going to be? What are they going to assume? What are they going to, you know? So it's just like there's a lot of thought that goes into making a video about cats, you know?
And this is where what's great is this is where like networking and finding other creative friends comes in handy, because it's always very, very advantageous to have a second set of eyes on something.
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
So
like
find some creative friends.
Holy
Build
moly,
a
I like
network.
that.
My mom reads all my scripts.
Yeah, she
and
does.
She still does. And so Maz reads my scripts too, and Maz thinks that my mom is hilarious.
I think your mom is so funny. There was in the most recent one, I just replied in one of her comments, and I was like, "You are so funny, Mrs.
Mrs. Rallison."
Rallison.
Do you remember what it was?
Secret's out.
I remember adding the joke, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, do you want to spoil the joke, bro? you
Yeah, we can
wanna-
spoil the joke.
No,
Who
no,
watches
no.
this podcast?
Move to bed?
Call out culture.
No,
And now the podcast is just Rebecca Parr.
well, the thing is,
Well,
like,
yes.
I like the amount of people that read the scripts now has gotten exponential, right? It's like I used to show one person, but now it's like I show 10.
Now I show like everyone. Well, so the thing is, like with scripts, is that I don't expect everyone to drop everything and read a script, you know. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, hey, if you're free, then I send it to like a bunch of people, and then I get other people's opinions and stuff. Although I do expect that of my mom. My mom needs to drop everything. And read the
I know, right? I think what's one of the proudest moments for me was when I started, sharing scripts. I used to take everything like.
Oh yeah,
I used
Maz
to-
told me this, and this freaks me out now.
Well,
Can we
yeah,
continue?
well, this was like the first two times I did it. Where whenever James read the script, I used to be like, okay, his comedy's better than mine. I'm gonna take everything that he says, right?
Yeah, so you would implement everything that I said.
Yeah, and
it's like, no.
But now I'm just like, this is stupid, and so I just like cross out.
Well, so like when I'm reading someone else's script, if I think of just anything funny, it doesn't even have to be that funny. I just like add it. I'm just like, what if it was, a clock in a what was it?
With
Underwear?
suspenders.
Spandex.
Suspenders, yeah. And like a lot of times I would myself would be like, if it was my video, I wouldn't add it in. But maybe just adding those comments can also spark an idea from from the other person. Like there's plenty of times where someone comes up with a joke and I go like, I like that joke, but I'm going to change up how it's delivered or how it's done,
Exactly.
Well, and that's actually how they do it out there in the industry, especially on movies, is it's not just one person coming up with all of the jokes and all of the visual gags in a movie. It's an entire room of people sitting together and like playing off of each other. It's saying,
think tank,
like, and
if
what
you
if this
will.
happened, Yeah, so I think that's just getting more creative people involved is just going to overall give you a wider range of ideas to pick from. It's still your vision, but
Yeah.
you just have, more suggestions to go off of.
Exactly.
And that's all of it.
So,
that's why
yeah.
I think script writing is one of like such a fundamental that we need to anybody needs to nail down. And I think that's like one of the big things that people fail to miss is that it's a storytime animation, sure, right? But okay, and I always give this example. If I don't want to use James as an example. Okay, if Jaden,
use it.
No.
I'm right here.
If Jaden were to make a video.
When you say Jaden, you mean James, but okay.
Make a video with MS Paint visuals, I would still watch the video because I have trust. Like I know that it's going to be good storytelling, right? Mm-hmm. If I were to watch a video with Jaden's new animation quality, but with somebody who just started out or poor storytelling, I wouldn't watch that because there's no reason for me to watch that, right? And so I think script writing and nailing down what you're going to say in your story is equal, probably if not greater importance than the actual visuals you supply.
At 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's,
Because you can have something that's beautiful, but if the story is terrible and boring, then what's the point of seeing it?
exactly.
Well, something like on the flip side, people who are starting out, I hear them say, "Oh, I want to do this, but I'm not exciting. I have a boring life." And I'm just like, my most popular video was when I was working at Subway. So you don't
And a moth.
And a moth, yeah. And it's like, so bottom line, you don't need to be exciting. You need to be entertaining. You don't need to have a jaw-dropping story. You need to just be funny throughout it,
Well,
Yeah.
and it's
And
just it's this
hashtag
old
relatable.
thing in animation where like a good storyteller can take a mediocre story and make it great. That's what they said about, Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 was a very mediocre script when they got it, but a band of amazing artists made it a much better movie. So it really all depends on, it's not what you say, it's how you're saying it, basically.
Exactly. And this all pertains to making a script. And I know you mentioned like the improv thing, and I don't want to toot your horn, Laddi, but like Laddi made this video which was completely based on her improving how airports work. And it's very, very tongue-in-cheek. It's like, you walk in and you walk out because you forgot your ticket, you dummy. So you go back and, like it's very, very tongue-in-cheek, and it's very much in Laddi's personality. But it's like, once again, it's consistent with how the person is, right? Like, if I were to watch that video, it's like, oh, I can see and I can hold the personality, right? Like it's almost tangible in a sense. And whenever I watch one of your videos, I'm tooting everybody's now, but it's like it's like
my horn is tooted. What?
I haven't tooted my
Ooh,
horn.
my horn. But like, it's a very tangible personality, right? And I always say this to people as well. If you can describe a creator's personality in a few adjectives, they're doing their job, right? Like, once again, Adam, this very loud, meaty, buff boy, Jaden's quite quieter, more introverted, but
What
still
are my
quirky.
adjectives, Maz?
I want to say it
Yeah.
'cause it's
Nerdy.
I'm really curious
Cool.
because I don't know mine. What are mine?
Well, it's Rebecca, grandiose, ready
Let
to
us know in
belt
the
out
comment box.
song. Yeah, no, let us know in the comments what they're actually.
What are my
Grandiose,
adjectives?
he says.
And it's like everybody has a very distinct personality, and even the newer people, that are blown up now, they have their own personalities that come in, and I think that's that's a thing. The entire medium of not only just animation but YouTube has shifted from good quality one-off content like sketches and solid animations with a story to almost universally a personality-driven one. Yeah, absolutely. And so if you can nail that down, and I know it's easy to say, just get a personality, like
Don't be boring.
I think it's a matter of be comfortable with who you are online,
Yeah.
and that also is a skill that takes practice because when you first start off, you're going to be very very guarded. You're not sure how to present yourself online. You're kind of afraid of how you're going to be presented online and what people are going to say about you. So it's natural to be nervous about just kind of letting the world know who you are in the beginning. But eventually, you got to get comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
You got to know who you are and say, yeah, this is funny. I think this is funny. And people like what I have to do, so I have confidence in myself,
Speaking of like confidence and being comfortable with yourself, do you guys still like walk out of the room if someone is watching your video
Yes.
in front of you?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
My grandma
So-
whips it out.
Like-
and I was like, nope.
Not really a case of when someone watches my video. If it's an old video that I really don't like, yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, if it's an
But
older
if
video,
it's
then
just-
yes.
like if
Yeah.
someone started watching like my most current video, I'll sit there and watch it with them.
Yeah.
What I get tired of is when like certain people are just not to say that I'm not happy that they're proud of me, but certain people in my life will love to just anybody who will sit down and watch, they will show one of my videos
Yeah.
to. And I'm like, it's
Like,
embarrassing.
have you met Rebecca?
My
She's a
mom.
YouTuber.
yeah, okay. Oh god, yeah. Okay, that's bad.
That's my mom. Like everyone we talk to is like, oh yeah, my daughter, she's a big YouTuber, and I'm like, and like she showed so many people like my videos, and I just have to sit there and kind of watch it, and I'm just like, oh, it's really awkward for me because it's like I don't know.
Yeah. I would say like last year started becoming more comfortable with my own videos because I was like, yeah, these are my videos. This is what I do for a living. This is what I make. But then people started making TikToks of my videos. Of course, I'm going to search myself up on TikTok, and I couldn't sit through a single one of the TikToks. And that for me was just like, whoa.
I need to
Okay.
make one. I need to make one with you.
And
Oh my god, I will rip it. Oh my god, yes.
We can create a monster.
Yeah, and that's how we bring it back to TikTok. Maz is a TikTok star. Everyone subscribe to Maz.
It's just
My only connection with TikTok recently is this girl came out. She's got like 150,000 followers on TikTok, which I guess that's amazing.
Yeah, that's huge.
But she's like, she made a TikTok where she's like, just so everyone knows, I am not Rebecca Parham from Let Me Explain Studios. And people have been like relentlessly sending that to me lately, and I'm like, who is this girl?
Like,
What
why are
TikTok
you
stars?
sending
I
me
don't
my
know
own
these
TikTok?
people.
Yeah.
She looks a little like me, but she sounds nothing like me. It's
Yeah.
it's funny how people are be like, "Is this you? Is this you? Is this you?" And I'm like, there is like very little resemblance between the two of us.
Yeah.
I think it's you.
Oh my
Proof.
But
god.
I'm gonna shout her out, Kels Ferguson. I think when fandom strikes, go
Wait a
check her out. She's
Wait
cool.
a minute. What did I just find right now? Hold on.
No, wait, what? Did you type in Rebecca Parham on TikTok?
I did!
Oh no!
did.
What did you find?
Wait.
There are people wearing your merch. They're rocking out to TikToks wearing your merch. They're celebrating your achievements. They're singing.
Oh my gosh! I need to be on TikTok, man. I gotta download TikTok like right now.
I hate TikTok.
cute.
Oh wait, people like me. Oh, I love TikTok.
I never said I hated TikTok. I just wasn't on it.
No,
Oh my God.
I don't want to say for the record, I don't hate TikTok either. It's just when people make TikToks of my YouTube, I'm just like, ooh, that's right, my voice is out there, you know?
I know, to be used for many devious purposes.
Yeah.
Exactly, just singing out your song and everything. I don't know. Like, I think that's fine. Once again, like I love, minus TikTok, thanks James, but in the entire YouTube process, everything that we're saying, it's very specific to how we learned over the years, right? Like all of our lessons culminated into one. In the end, the fun of YouTube, and this is gonna sound so corny, but it's definitely the journey of making videos and making them, and then the end results.
It's about the friendships you made along the way.
The friendships that we
Like
don't
and
have,
subscribe.
the friendship we don't have time to foster because we're animating all the time.
Yeah,
honestly.
I hate all of you, by the way.
Thank you.
You know what? Now let's
We are
Rebecca
not
from
friends.
The podcast now,
Nah, I love and adore all of you.
Aw.
How do you this is the question that I'm asking James about in a call, but how do you guys have time to maintain friendships? Like
You don't.
You talk while you work. That's exactly what I mean.
We literally just like hop on a Skype call or a Discord call and we're like, hey, so what's up? As we are working.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
still
Like, that's the thing.
I want to do more. It sounds weird for saying this. Like, I want to do more in real life things, because right now it's just like work and grocery shop and clean, and that's like all I have to do. And I want to do more like going to classes and clubs. And I keep telling people like
classes?
Yeah, I don't
Clubs.
know. Shut up. Like an improv class. That's what I meant.
Okay.
James, I will pay money to fly out to LA to watch you in a club.
Okay, not that
I
club.
think that
meant
will
like
be
an improv
hilarious.
club.
He's just doing the Fortnite dance to his own song, and that's it.
I've never. Yeah, that would be a spectacle. That would
We
for
are
sure.
young. Oh, I would pay money.
It's a
I would-
beautiful day.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah. No, I would not do good in that. I don't know if you want to keep this in the podcast, but when I was with you guys at VidCon, you had an Airbnb and you had this party and there was alcohol everywhere. And I remember just like looking around, and then I turned to Adam and I said, "This is the first party I've been to that had alcohol in it." And he's just like, "You're so sad, man."
I didn't get invited to that party. Like, I'm just gonna dig into Maz just a little bit further because he's the one that always feels bad about not including me in all of the pre-VidCon plans.
It's just
This year will be different.
Bad. I even to this day I still apologize to Shannon as well. It's just like it was not a conscious decision for me to be like, I'm not gonna invite them. It was just like literally I tried to spread the word out there, and honestly most of the party was done by word of mouth. Like people just whispered around.
So it's everyone's fault.
It's
You
everyone.
wanted to be the only half-facer.
And it's
Admit it, Maz. You wanted to be the only half-facer in this community.
Maz just hates everybody.
Well, the thing is, just, we're planning to have all the same traditions for this year's VidCon. So it's like now everybody's aware of it. I think more people can come on, and have fun.
yeah, we're gonna post on
Except
Twitter
for the people,
exact
except for the people
address.
watching.
Yeah, I know, right? Now everyone watching will be like, okay, everyone search the Airbnbs in the area.
Yeah.
We'll find the odd ones out in Jaden.
No,
I have a hotel,
no.
they've
so
got a
good
hotel.
luck.
They've got a
Yeah.
Yeah.
big yikes.
Quick, find all the hotel.
I think for VidCon US they book out the entire hotel as well, so it's like
Yeah.
I think so, too.
You can't even do
I
that.
finally get to be in it this year.
Heck yeah, dab. I'll dab to that.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Aw.
Dude, let Dab die, man. Please. Let's just
No.
no.
I had dinner with my friend Nick. I don't know if you guys know Nick,
know
Junkie.
Nick.
And
yeah.
so I went to his house and I had dinner, and then afterwards his brothers were talking to Nick and they said, he dabbed a lot more than I thought he would. And I was like, yeah.
That's amazing.
We don't need any context. Just leave it at that.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yikes, dude. Oh my god. Nick impresses me to no end. I don't want to say this to his face because he's like,
I'll say it in a podcast. That's public.
Yeah, I'll say it to him. He's not going to listen to this far, don't worry. But
It'll be nice.
so I was watching, I love The Good Place, the TV show, and I was watching it, and I was like, is that Nick? No way, that's Nick. And he's in a show like that. There's such a boundary in my head about like traditional media.
Do we need to tell the audience who Nick is, or does he want to keep that secret? Do we have to keep it?
Well,
not
he's in a
secret.
public show, so I don't think he can keep that a secret.
Okay. You're right. He can't keep it. So Nick is the voice actor of Gumball on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, Junkie
Yeah.
Jank.
The current voice
before
actor.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a YouTube channel called Junkie Jankers. Shout out to
And
Junkie
so
Jankers.
I've
was on a
known him
podcast.
as a little dorky boy, making videos, and as the voice actor of Gumball. And so I'm already impressed whenever I watch Gumball with my baby brother, and I'm like, that's Nick. And then I watch my own comedy, what I'm into, and I see him there as well, and I'm like, Nick, are you in anything else? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta find me. And I'm like, oh. And my brother, my other brother, who's like 1 year younger than me, he's watching it. He's watching The Good Place, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's my friend. And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, that's my friend Nick. And he's like,
Name
what?
drop.
What? And he's
Name
like,
dropping.
I know, right? He's my claim to fame. It's
Like, honestly, low key same. My sister just finished all of Gumball, and I was like, hey, I knew the voice actor.
Why have I not been introduced to this Nick person?
Yeah,
Come on.
He's
He's
me up,
definitely
guys.
a fan of you.
He's a very young guy, and he's like
Aw.
15 now, 15.
Yeah, he might be.
50.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He's
age.
very-
I met him when he was 14.
And,
Hi, Nick.
I was listening back to a podcast with him, like this podcast actually. I was listening to the
voice
podcast
jam
episode
packet.
with him in it, and I don't know why this didn't stick into my head, but re-listening to it, he's discussing how his experience as a voice actor has aided in his own animation channel, right? And he's explaining how he had training to make his voice punchier. And he would say like a sentence which was like, "Hi, Jeremy, it's me, Nick," And normally I would be like, "Hi guys, it's me, Maz," That's how I would say it. And the way he said, he was like, I don't even know how to replicate it. He's like, "Hi, my name is Nick," and he's like punching it at the right moment, and it's like it made it sound a million times better. And I'm like, that is so interesting. And you're like,
Yeah.
It's everyone's own experience. And like Rebecca, obviously you've got your own Ringling experience, and he's got the voice acting, and everyone's got their own. And you've made comics before, James, and
Hello.
everyone's it's like everyone's got their own little fire, little spark to them. I don't know. It's like I'm so giddy talking about it. I love this kind of stuff. I love it. It's like the funnest thing ever, man.
I have this story. It's very off topic.
Uh-huh.
It's
Go
what
for
I did today. So the people in the podcast know that I was late to the podcast. And the
No, wait,
reason
you cut out a little bit. Wait, what? You were what?
well, I don't think I cut out. I think I just stopped talking.
Okay.
So the reason I was late was because I was at the Fine Bros doing a reaction of Fine Bros React. I don't know if you've seen me on the Fine Bros thing.
Not heard of it.
And
I've never seen you on there wearing my shirt or anything. Go on.
and I reacted to something that was a little questionable.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if I should.
A little off-brand.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
I don't know.
It'll be out
wanna-
by this podcast is aired, but yeah.
I don't. Well, like also because it's the end, and it's like, yeah, it's if you stuck around for this podcast for this long, I'll talk about I'll basically leak the Fine Bros. I don't know if I should say. Well, it's just like what I reacted to.
Well, it's good. This podcast is going to be released in 3 weeks, so you have like it's
it's
probably
probably out by this point.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
link in the description. Well, actually, I don't even know if I want to link it in the description.
Okay, go.
But do you want to
What's it
give like
about?
some context
so
to it?
the thing I reacted to was one of those top 10 videos where you had to like guess the top 10 of something,
Right.
and it was the top 10 most searched characters on Pornhub.
Oh.
And I was like,
Okay.
Bow's
well,
that?
it wasn't even like it was like TV shows / movies. And I was like,
Oh,
man, I don't know if I should be good at this or if I should be bad at this.
You
You know
miss
all
every
10
question
off
on
by heart,
purpose.
and you just
And then-
tank your own results.
And so one of the things I'm just going to say, one of the things was Elastigirl. And I was like, oh, this is going to be high up. And then I was like, wait, that's not what I meant. So it was just, I don't know, it was just such a very sticky, not sticky is not the right word. It's just a bad place to be in. Because it was.
Did they not tell you in advance?
No, they don't tell you in advance.
No, they won't tell you in advance.
But-
Because I've been on the Fine Bros before too, and like I think I would be very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
with
especially
them just
with
kind
my
of
brand,
blindsiding
you know,
me
it's
with that.
like-
because we work very, very hard to kind of like maintain a
family-friendly.
relatively like family friendly, advertiser friendly kind of thing, and that's really hard for us to do. So I think that would be counterproductive to your brand, James.
Yeah.
And
Surely
could
the-
you just kind of like walk away from that and say, hey, I'll get you next time. Next
Yeah.
time you do something else, because I don't think this is right for me.
Yeah. I don't know. That's like I would most likely like I would probably get involved because I'm just it's not once again like it's just like my persona is one of I don't really care, and I like once again I don't really care about that. But I could definitely understand if you wanted to just walk out. Like surely you can say like, hey, I don't want to do that. Like
Yeah.
that's I don't know. That's a
But like the thing that you have to understand about like doing YouTube as a full-time career is that you become very protective of what you have built, and you have to be, because it is your bread and butter. It's
Yeah.
how you pay your bills. And so you have to look at it like a business. And I think this is where I was very fortunate. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family who I saw the ins and outs of this, where you cover your butt wherever you can to protect yourself, because there's always going to be instances of, someone says the wrong thing or someone tries to sue you or that kind of thing. So I think like I might have walked out of that, James, because I'm like, I've worked a little too hard to make this my dream job. I'm not gonna risk it for the Fine Bros. To be honest.
I don't think they're gonna edit it to be like malicious. They're not gonna
No,
edit
of
it to make it
course.
look bad. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know. Like it is
It's a
kind of
little
a
odd.
tough.
A little
it's a little.
odd.
It's a tough
but-
situation to be in.
yeah.
But
But the most important question, though, who was number 1 on that list?
Stop it. Stop it.
it actually surprised me.
Well, don't say it because I do want to. I will watch it just to make fun of it. Just to make fun of you. No. Well, it's funny because like obviously branding and stuff. There was one video in which you and Jaden were in, which was like rank these videos from 1 to 10 on how WTF. They made you feel, and in when the first second of watching,
Right out of the gate,
Yeah.
Jaden just drops it.
yeah. And then Jaden just goes, from 1 to beep, and I'm like, Jaden's image branding as a family friendly, just out the window right there.
Right.
But the thing is, once again, I just want to say, Fine Bros, I would love to be.
No, I just recently got an email from Benny Fine and about like, hey Becca, we're recording on these days in case you're in in town, and
like,
now I
"I'm
think he's
not."
just gonna retract all of that after listening to this.
You have 3 weeks, okay? Don't worry about it.
But anyway, that was fun. That was
was-
probably the strangest thing that I reacted to.
Yeah, but like as long as you had a good time, I think that's like what matters in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
I think
Afterwards,
I
you
did.
did.
I think I did.
Aw. Didn't sound
kidding.
very sure.
Not family friendly.
Although they do have one. They made one that was like the top most searched thing. Was it the most searched thing? They did another Pornhub one before.
Yes,
So
they
this
did.
isn't their first Pornhub.
No.
This isn't their first.
Yeah, they
Never
had
mind.
Bowsette on that list. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't.
It's okay. It's okay, James. Don't worry about it.
Okay, never mind.
Don't worry. We know you don't watch anything like that.
Yeah, you're pure boy.
You're pure. You're a marshmallow boy. All right. I
Yeah.
think I don't wanna impinge on anyone else's time more than I have to.
But-
So we might wrap it up here. Is that all right? All good.
I think. Well, we need to probably be like, thanks for watching, everyone. Right?
All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Especially
No,
both of
don't say
you.
that.
No, wait. Shut up. You know what I mean? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. And it's major thanks to both of you, Rebecca and James. for coming
No
out.
problem.
Yeah, thanks for
You're
having us.
welcome.
No, it's all good.
You're
You know, major honor. And thanks for coming, James, from down the street. You know, we just we'll return you down the street where you belong.
No problem.
And yeah, once again, I just want to say that this podcast is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Patreon's available for anyone who wants to support us. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody. Laters.
Bye. Wear your seatbelt.
And,
Thank you so much for tuning in, but now we got to tune out. Bye.
Don't forget to.
and logging off now. Bye.